Hello coin collectors and treasure hunters. Welcome back to our channel World Rare Coins, where we discover the fascinating world of rare coins and their incredible value. From hidden gems that could be worth a fortune to little-known coins with a rich history, we'll explore it all. So grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into today's exciting coin discovery. On Top 1 today, we're going to explore one of the most intriguing coins from American history, the United States 1965 quarter dollar. This seemingly ordinary coin, produced during a time of change in the US, could be worth far more than you might expect. Stick around, because we're going to uncover the fascinating details behind this coin and reveal just how much it could be worth in today's market. Let's take a trip back to 1965. The United States was in the middle of significant political and social change. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum, the Vietnam War was intensifying, and the country was at the brink of the counterculture revolution. But there was something else significant happening in the world of U.S. currency during this time. The U.S. Mint made a major shift in coin composition. You see, up until 1964, quarters were composed of 90% silver. However, due to a rising silver shortage and soaring prices, the U.S. government decided to reduce the silver content in coins. In 1965, the quarter underwent a drastic change, with the silver content being replaced by a copper-nickel alloy. This change marked the end of an era for U.S. coins, and it set the stage for the 1965 quarter to become a collector's dream. But not all 1965 quarters are created equal. The 1965 quarter that interests us today is one that has captured the attention of numismatists for its rarity and unique characteristics. So, let's take a closer look at the design and features of this coin. On the obverse side of the 1965 quarter, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This design, created by John Flanagan, has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1932. It features Washington facing left, with his name and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" inscribed around his image. The date, 1965, is also prominently displayed beneath his neck. On the reverse side, you'll see the classic eagle design, which has been part of the quarter since the coin's inception in 1796. The eagle is depicted holding an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other, symbolizing peace and strength. The words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum" surround the eagle, with the denomination quarter dollar at the bottom. So, while the design itself might look familiar, it's what's hidden beneath the surface that makes this coin so valuable to collectors. The 1965 quarter, unlike the earlier silver quarters, was produced with a copper-nickel alloy. However, there's an important twist here. Some 1965 quarters were actually struck with the old silver composition before the full switch was made. These silver quarters are incredibly rare and have become highly sought after in the numismatic world. These silver-era coins were mistakenly struck with the old silver planchets, which were still available in the minting process. As a result, only a small number of these silver 1965 quarters exist today, making them a true rarity. Most of the 1965 quarters are made from the copper-nickel composition, which means these silver versions are even more valuable and sought after by collectors who are looking to add them to their collections. But the value doesn't stop there. The condition of the coin also plays a crucial role in determining its worth. A 1965 quarter in uncirculated or mint state condition, free from any visible wear and tear, is exponentially more valuable than one that has been circulated. Coins with minting errors or unique characteristics, such as a double die or off-center strike, can further increase the coin's value, making them even rarer and more desirable. So, how much can the 1965 quarter be worth? Well, the standard 1965 quarters, those made with the copper-nickel alloy, are worth around their face value or slightly above, depending on their condition. However, it's the silver-era coins, especially those in near-perfect or mint condition, that are truly priceless. If you happen to find one of these silver 1965 quarters, and it's in great condition, you could be holding a coin worth as much as $47,000. That's right, $47,000 for a single 1965 quarter. It's amazing how a small mistake in the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into a rare and valuable treasure. If you have a 1965 quarter in your collection or happen to come across one, make sure to inspect it carefully. You might just have a hidden gem on your hands. On top two, we're about to dive deep into the history, design, and value of a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or your spare change jar. That's right, we're talking about the United States 1970 quarter dollar. This seemingly ordinary coin holds a fascinating secret and could be worth a lot more than you think. Stick around as we explore the history, rarity, and incredible value of this iconic coin. And stay tuned until the end to find out how much it could be worth today. Let's rewind to 1970. The United States was in the midst of a period of change. The country was grappling with social unrest, economic shifts, and the ongoing Vietnam War. At the same time, the U.S. Mint was making its own changes to the nation's coinage, reflecting the evolving nature of American currency. The 1970 quarter was part of the ongoing circulation of the Washington Quarter Series, which had been in production since 1932. However, 1970 marked the final year of the silver era for quarters. While the quarter had been made with 90% silver until 1964, by 1970, the U.S. Mint had switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices and a shortage of the metal. But here's the twist. Some 1970 quarters were still minted with silver planchets, making them extremely rare and valuable today. Why is this important? Well, this mistake in the minting process led to the creation of what we now call the 1970 silver quarter, a coin that has become a holy grail for collectors. But what makes this coin so valuable? Let's dig deeper into the design and features of this coin to understand why it's so special. The 1970 quarter, just like the other quarters in the Washington series, features the iconic portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, Washington's image on the obverse side is familiar to most people who have seen U.S. quarters throughout the years. Alongside his portrait, the coin displays the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the year of mintage, 1970. But the reverse side is just as important. It features the classic eagle design, with the majestic bird perched on a bundle of arrows and an olive branch. The eagle is surrounded by the inscription, United States of America, and at the bottom of the coin, you'll see the words quarter dollar. So, on the surface, the 1970 quarter may look like a regular coin. But it's what's under the hood that makes this coin so exciting for collectors. Because of the production mix-up in 1970, only a handful of quarters were struck with the old 90% silver composition, while the rest were made of the new copper-nickel alloy. Here's where things get really interesting. While the vast majority of 1970 quarters are made from the copper-nickel alloy, only a few of them were accidentally struck on silver planchets that were left over from the previous year. These 1970 silver quarters are extremely rare and difficult to find, as the U.S. Mint quickly corrected the mistake. So, what's the big deal? Why do collectors go crazy for these silver 1970 quarters? The answer lies in rarity and demand. Since only a small number of these coins were produced, they are highly sought after by numismatists and coin collectors. As with any collectible, rarity drives value. A silver 1970 quarter that has been preserved in excellent or mint condition can fetch incredible prices. If you're lucky enough to find one of these silver quarters, you're sitting on a gold mine, but only if you can verify its authenticity. That's where professional grading comes in. A certified coin in mint condition can be worth significantly more than a coin in poor condition. A coin that has been well preserved, free from scratches, and stored properly can be worth a small fortune in the right market. While the 1970 silver quarter is already rare, some unique features or minting errors can make a coin even more valuable. Coins with small design variations, double strikes, or other anomalies from the minting process can command significantly higher prices at auction. Collectors will pay top dollar for a coin with a unique characteristic or an error that sets it apart from the rest. For example, some silver 1970 quarters may have slight differences in their design or may be off-center strikes, which can make them even more desirable. If you happen to come across a 1970 quarter with a minting error, don't just write it off. It could be worth far more than a regular silver quarter. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much is a 1970 silver quarter really worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to own one of the rare silver 1970 quarters, and it's in uncirculated or mint condition, You could be holding a coin that's worth $45,000. That's right, $45,000 for a single coin. Who would have thought that a small mistake in the minting process could turn a seemingly ordinary quarter into a treasure worth thousands? So, if you have any old quarters lying around, especially from 1970, make sure to take a closer look. You could be holding a rare piece of American history that's worth a small fortune. On Top 3, we read diving into a coin that's often overlooked, but it could be hiding a fortune. If you're into rare coins, you'll definitely want to hear about the United States 1974 quarter dollar. This coin, though often dismissed as just another regular quarter, holds a secret that could make it worth thousands of dollars. Stick with us as we explore the history, design, and value of the 1974 quarter, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin is one you should pay close attention to. Let's set the scene in 1974. The United States was going through a significant period of change. The Watergate scandal was rocking the nation, and the economy was facing inflation and the effects of the oil crisis. Amidst all this, the U.S. Mint was continuing to produce coins for circulation, including the quarter dollar. By 1974, the United States had already moved away from using silver in its quarters, something that began in 1965 due to rising silver prices and a shortage of the metal. Since then, the quarter has been made using a copper-nickel-clad composition. The 1974 quarter is part of this new era, and, like many other coins from this time, it might not seem particularly special on the surface. But here's the catch. Among the thousands of 1974 quarters produced, some of them hold hidden value due to unique features and errors that occurred during the minting process. These errors, along with the coin's condition, make it one of the most intriguing quarters for collectors today. The design of the 1974 quarter is not much different from what you would expect. On the obverse side, the front, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The image is iconic. Washington is facing left, with the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" surrounding his likeness. Below the portrait, you'll find the year, 1974. The reverse side features the emblematic bald eagle, with its wings spread wide, grasping arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing peace and strength. You'll also see the words United States of America and E pluribus unum around the eagle, and at the bottom, the denomination quarter dollar. While the design might seem familiar, it's the subtle details and rare features of some 1974 quarters that make them highly valuable in the numismatic world. So, what makes the 1974 quarter so special? The answer lies in its rarity and condition. While most of the 1974 quarters are simply copper-nickel clad, there are some out there with unique features, either as a result of minting errors or because of the coin's condition. These rare quarters can command incredible prices at auctions. One of the most sought-after varieties of the 1974 quarter is the 1974 D-double die obverse. This coin, which was minted at the Denver Mint, features a double strike error, where the image of George Washington on the obverse is slightly shifted or doubled. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or improperly set, resulting in a faint ghost of Washington's image beside the original strike. It's a distinctive feature that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. In addition to the double die error, there are also coins with off-center strikes, die cracks, and other unique characteristics that make them highly collectible. These minting anomalies make certain 1974 quarters far more valuable than their regular counterparts. But there's more to the story. Even a well-preserved, uncirculated 1974 quarter without any minting errors can be worth more than face value. Coins in top-tier condition, with sharp details and little to no wear, are highly prized by collectors. The better the condition, the higher the price a coin can fetch. As we mentioned earlier, some of the most valuable 1974 quarters are those with minting errors. These errors can make a coin stand out, turning it from a regular quarter into something highly sought after, double die obverse. As mentioned, the 1974 D-double die obverse is the most famous error associated with this year. The doubled image of George Washington gives the coin a blurry, ghost-like effect, which many collectors find fascinating. Off-center strikes. Some 1974 quarters were struck off-center, meaning the design wasn't aligned properly when the coin was minted. These off-center coins are rare and highly desirable to collectors who want a unique addition to their collection. Die cracks and other errors. Die cracks, where there are small fissures or cracks on the coin surface due to the wear and tear on the minting die, can also create interesting and valuable coins. If you come across a 1974 quarter with one of these errors, you may be holding something far more valuable than you think. The rarity of these errors makes them a hot commodity in the coin market, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. So, the big question, how much is a 1974 quarter worth? Well, the regular copper-nickel-clad 1974 quarter is worth only its face value of 25 cents. However, if you found a double die error or a coin with other minting flaws, the value can soar dramatically. In excellent condition or with these rare errors, a 1974 quarter could be worth as much as $44,000. That's right, $44,000 for a single 1974 quarter. It's amazing how a small minting error or a perfectly preserved coin can turn a quarter into a small fortune. So, if you've got any 1974 quarters lying around, be sure to inspect them carefully. You never know what kind of treasure you might have on your hands. On top 4, we're going to talk about a coin that might be hiding in your change jar or buried in your collection. The 1979 United States quarter dollar. This coin may seem like just another piece of everyday currency, but hold on. There's much more to this coin than meets the eye. In fact, it could be worth way more than you think. Stay with us to discover the fascinating history, unique features, and jaw-dropping value of the 1979 quarter. Trust me, you're going to want to hear about this one. Let's take a step back in time to 1979. It was a year of change in the United States, politically, socially, and economically. The country was in the midst of the energy crisis, the Iran hostage situation was unfolding, and Jimmy Carter had just been elected president. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was continuing to produce coins for circulation, including the quarter dollar. The quarter in 1979 was part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which had been in production since 1932. However, by the late 1970s, the country was facing a unique situation. Inflation and economic instability were affecting the minting process, and the U.S. government was considering how to keep production costs low without compromising quality. The 1979 quarter still retained the traditional design of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse, but there was something special about certain 1979 quarters, minting errors and unique features that would make these coins valuable to collectors. It's not the typical copper-nickel-clad version you might find circulating today that holds the big value, but rather, it's specific rare variants that have collectors on the hunt. The design of the 1979 quarter is unmistakable. On the obverse side, the front, we have George Washington's portrait, designed by John Flanagan. Washington, facing left, is accompanied by the word Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust." In the year of mintage, 1979. On the reverse side, the classic design of the bald eagle is seen, with its wings spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch. The eagle represents both peace and strength, which are symbols of the United States. Surrounding the eagle, you'll find the inscription United States of America, e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, and the denomination quarter dollar at the bottom. It's a beautiful design that has become iconic over the decades. But here's where things get interesting. The 1979 quarter didn't just feature the standard design. Some 1979 quarters were struck with errors that would make them much more valuable today. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1979 quarter so appealing to collectors. While most of the 1979 quarters are worth their face value or just a little bit more based on condition, there are some incredibly rare minting errors that make certain 1979 quarters much more valuable. Minting errors happen when a coin is struck incorrectly, and they can result in unique or unusual characteristics that collectors find fascinating. For the 1979 quarter, the errors that are most sought after are double die obverse errors and off-center strikes. Double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, causing the image of George Washington on the obverse to appear doubled or blurry. This happens when the die doesn't align properly between strikes, leading to a faint ghost of Washington's image beside the original. This is a sought-after feature for collectors because it's a one-of-a-kind mistake, and it adds rarity to the coin. Off-center strikes. Some 1979 quarters were struck off-center, meaning the design wasn't fully aligned when the coin was minted. These off-center coins can add a unique twist to an otherwise regular quarter, and collectors love the irregularity of these pieces. Other minting errors. There are also a variety of other errors like die cracks, where the die used to strike the coin gets damaged, leading to visible cracks or imperfections on the coin. These errors can make a coin stand out from the crowd and can dramatically increase its value, especially if the error is rare or especially noticeable. What's important to remember is that collectors don't just want any 1979 quarter. They want the error coins, especially if they're in pristine condition. The better the condition of the coin, the higher the value. Coins that have been well preserved, free from heavy circulation marks, and graded highly can fetch significant amounts of money in the marketplace. While some 1979 quarters may have the standard design or even mild wear, the real treasures are those with errors or unique features. These can include double die error coins. As we discussed, the double die obverse is a rare error that adds unique value to the coin. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin. Off-center coins. Off-center strikes can add a certain flair to your collection. These coins are eye-catching and instantly stand out from the others, making them desirable to collectors. Pristine condition. Even without errors, a well-preserved 1979 quarter in mint condition could be worth more than a typical coin. Coins with sharp details, minimal wear, and perfect strikes are always in demand. It's these unique variants that have collectors paying top dollar for 1979 quarters. If you have one of these rare coins, or if you come across one while checking your change, you could be holding a valuable piece of history. So, how much is a 1979 quarter really worth? While a regular copper-nickel 1979 quarter might be worth just a little more than face value, especially if it's in excellent condition, the real gems are the error coins and those in mint condition. If you have a double die obverse 1979 quarter or another rare variant, your coin could be worth as much as $43,000. That's right, $43,000 for a single 1979 quarter. It's incredible how a small mistake or unique feature can make a coin worth so much. So, next time you find a 1979 quarter, be sure to check it closely. You never know. You might have a rare gem hiding in your pocket or collection. On Top 5, we're going to explore something truly exciting, the United States quarter dollar from 1980. This coin might seem like just another piece of change, but what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth an unbelievable amount of money? You won't believe what some of these 1980 quarters are selling for today. Stay tuned until the end to discover just how much this coin could be worth. Let's get started. To understand the value of the 1980 quarter, let's first take a trip back in time to 1980. It was a year of change in America. The country was dealing with high inflation, an energy crisis, and the aftermath of the Vietnam War. In the world of politics, Ronald Reagan was running for president, and tensions were high in global affairs. Amid all of this, the United States Mint was still producing coins for circulation, including the quarter dollar. The 1980 quarter was part of the Washington Quarter Series, which had been in circulation since 1932. By 1980, the U.S. Mint had stopped using silver in its quarters, replacing it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This was a significant shift that came after the 1965 change, when the rising price of silver made it unsustainable for the government to continue minting silver coins. Though most 1980 quarters are just regular copper-nickel-clad coins, what sets them apart is rarity and the potential for minting errors, which we'll talk more about in a bit. It's these rare mistakes or unique characteristics that make the 1980 quarter something truly special to collectors. The 1980 quarter has a familiar design that collectors know well. On the obverse side, the front, we see the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Washington, the first president of the United States, is shown facing left. Surrounding his portrait are the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the year 1980. The reverse side features the image of the American bald eagle, the symbol of strength and freedom. The eagle is holding arrows and an olive branch, representing war and peace, respectively. At the bottom, you'll see the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and the denomination quarter dollar. At first glance, this might just seem like another standard Washington quarter. But hidden within the mintage are some rare examples that could be worth a fortune, which we'll dive into now. So, what makes the 1980 quarter so valuable to collectors? As with many other coins, the key to value lies in the rarity and condition of the coin. Most of the 1980 quarters produced were in circulation for years, which means they were exposed to wear and tear. Over time, coins with heavy use lose their appeal to collectors because the details fade and the coin becomes less attractive. However, there are still a few ungraded, uncirculated 1980 quarters out there. Coins that were never circulated and are in pristine condition. Coins that remain in mint condition, free from heavy wear, are always in demand. A well-preserved quarter can sell for more than its face value, sometimes at a premium depending on its grade. Now, let's talk about the errors that make the 1980 quarter even more appealing. Some of these coins were struck with minting mistakes that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. These errors can include things like off-center strikes, double strikes, and die cracks. These minting anomalies can significantly increase the value of a coin, making it more rare and sought after. The most exciting feature about the 1980 quarter, and what really drives up its value, is the minting errors that some of these coins feature. Let's break down a few of the more common errors that collectors are looking for. Double die obverse. A double die obverse error happens when the die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned, creating a ghost image of George Washington's portrait. This subtle doubling can often be hard to detect with the naked eye, but to a trained collector or numismatist, it's a standout feature that adds significant value to the coin. Off-center strikes. This occurs when the coin is not aligned properly in the press, causing part of the design to be cut off or misaligned. Off-center coins are highly desirable because they are rare and visually striking, making them unique in a collection. Die cracks. Over time, the dies used to strike coins can develop cracks, which will then appear on the coins they produce. These die cracks are visible on the surface of the coin and can be an interesting feature for collectors who appreciate the history of the coin's production process. High-grade uncirculated coins. Even without any errors, a 1980 quarter that is in perfect, uncirculated condition will be worth more than a regular one that shows signs of wear. The better the condition, the higher the value. So, how much is a 1980 quarter really worth? While most 1980 quarters are worth just their face value of 25 cents, certain minting errors or high-grade examples can command much higher prices in the market. If you happen to have a 1980 quarter that is in perfect uncirculated condition or features one of these rare minting errors, you could be sitting on a valuable treasure. Are you ready for the big reveal? A 1980 quarter with high-grade condition or a rare error could be worth as much as $41,000. Yes, you heard that right, $41,000 for a single 1980 quarter. It's amazing how a small mistake or an immaculate coin can turn a regular quarter into a collector's dream. So, before you toss any 1980 quarters into your spare change jar, be sure to take a close look at them. You might just have a rare find worth a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our future coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!